Hey, what's up, y'all? It's popping this D-Boss Rex this vid. This is what is the creepiest thing your kid has ever said to you. Listen, if there's one thing that creeps me the fuck out, it's demonic kids. Like, I love horror movies, and I can see monsters and ghosts and adult demons all day. None of that shit really bothers me too much. You might get a little jump out of me, I might get a little scared, whatever, nothing too big. But demonic kids? I cannot. And more specifically, to be honest, little white girls. They scare me the most. I don't know what the fuck it is. Maybe it's because they're overused in like horror movies with like demonic kids. It's usually a little white girl like, I wanna go, and I'm like, nah, bitch, fuck out of here. You know, I can't with the little demonic white girls. Or maybe I'm thinking of what's that movie where it was like hella demonic kids, Children of the Corn or something. I forgot. Or maybe I'm thinking of a different movie. I don't think it was Children of the Corn. What is that movie where they all got white hair and they all look alike? Maybe that is that movie. I don't know. But yeah, listen, demonic kids can get the fuck away from me. No. So this reminds me of that. And if I had a kid and they say some little weird shit that makes me think they possessed, you gotta go. You gotta get out of my house. And that's why I don't need to be nobody's mama, because I don't think I will handle parenthood the best. So I'm gonna just stay far away from that. But anyway, let's see what these little evil kids say. Let's watch.
Parents of TikTok, what is the creepiest thing your kid has ever said to you? So this morning I take my 4-year-old to the doctor. He had an ear infection a couple of weeks ago. We went in for a follow-up. Everything's okay. As we are leaving, we pass a couple of wheelchairs in the lobby. And my 4-year-old looks at them and says, I've never used a wheelchair. And I say, well, your legs work just fine. You don't need a wheelchair. And my 4-year-old says, in his perfectly innocent 4-year-old voice,
That's the worst.
after our car accident, I'll need a wheelchair.
Oh no. Oh no. No. That is so
Parents
weird.
of TikTok, what is the creepiest thing your kid has ever said to you?
I have so many of these, but this one is by far the creepiest one. So when my son was about 3 years old, I was changing his diaper in my bedroom the one day, and he told me, he was like, Mom, there's a man with black eyes standing behind you.
Oh, fuck out of
And
here.
I was just like, okay. It's like I look over my shoulder, and of course nothing is there. And I'm just like, jokingly, I was just like,
That's
"There
not
better be a
funny,
man with
little
black
boy."
eyes standing behind me, or
That's what I
else
would
I'm
say.
going to be performing an exorcism up in here. Said it as a joke. He's 3. He's not going to know what an exorcism is. And he just says, he's just like, Mom, he's screaming at you. He's screaming at you.
Nah.
Parents of TikTok, what is the creepiest thing your kid has ever said to you?
So Jasmine goes away to overnight camp, and her mother and I decided to go into her room, deep clean and defunk this bedroom. When she got home from camp, she was pleasantly surprised.
Proud of her.
And she starts looking around at things, and she starts rooting around her closet, and I said, no need, sweetheart, we got rid of all the dead bodies. And with this cubic psycho stare, she looks at me and says, you found them? And I was laughing, but I look back at her, and she's staying in character, and for a second,
Wait, what do I do? Wait, how do I do?
Creepiest thing
Oh,
your
okay.
kid.
Okay, so my daughter, when she was 2, I woke up to her cutting my hair. And when I asked her why she was cutting mommy's hair, she said, because mommy, your hair's gonna go by. And it was really weird.
Oh, you
Fast
got
forward
cancer?
a year or 2 later, she starts having these vivid dreams where mommy gets sick and my eyes get sunken in and my hair starts to fall out and I'm really sad. And then by the time she's 7 years old, she's having the same dream again, that I have to get medicine in a tube in my chest, all my hair's out, I'm really sick. And she was really scared that something bad is going to happen.
I'll be like, little girl, stop
Never seen anyone with
manifesting cancer for
even
me.
knew what that was.
Nah,
And then we
I'll be
finally
mad.
watched this movie
I'll be like,
about
nah.
a mother that gets cancer, and she had a total breakdown because she's like, Mom, that's you. That's how you look at my dreams.
Oh.
So I finally went into my doctor and I was like, hey, can I just get checked? Turns out, y'all, I do have tumors. I have masses that have to get
Oh, you got it
removed.
now. I
And
thought this
had my
was
daughter
past
not
it.
caught it early enough, they would have become very cancerous.
What is the
Oh, well,
creepiest
okay, she did a
thing
good
your
thing.
kid
That's still
has
weird.
ever said to you?
So this is more a nonverbal communication, but when my son was 8 months old, he and I were at lunch alone together at this diner. And then we had this male server. He was a little bit older, Caucasian guy, seemed really normal, polite, but my son would freak out. Like, he'd never
He's a
freaked
pedophile.
out like this before. Freaking out
He's a
every
kid.
time the guy came by our table. ultimately, I had to leave the restaurant because he just could not be around this person. A month later, that person made the front page and was arrested on multiple accounts of child molestation.
I knew it.
Parents of TikTok, what is the creepiest thing your kid has ever said to you?
One day, my youngest, about 3 or 4, in the middle of doing something in the living room, whatever. It was family time, homework, something, but it doesn't really matter. She all of a sudden, out of the blue, told her brother, "Do you remember when you ate me?" And she was dead damn serious, just dead serious. Here's the funny thing, though. He chuckled, right? Which, it's funny. And he's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Okay, no, hold up, time out. When the fuck did this happen?" And she's like, "Yeah, Mom, he ate me. We were really, really hungry, and I thought that we were gonna die or something, and he was bigger than me, so he just ate me." But here's the funny part. She was like, "But," she did the whole little hand thing too. "I didn't want to be born a boy, so it's fine. I got what I wanted." And I'm like, "What?" Mind you, when I was pregnant with my son, I was actually pregnant with identical twins. Twins run in my family. Multiples run in my family, naturally. Okay. So I was excited, but I couldn't hold food down or what have you, to the point that I had to be monitored and I had to be put on IV and things of that nature multiple times a week, just to make sure I got the nutrients and stayed hydrated. And I was doing better. They wanted to do another ultrasound to make sure that the babies were okay. But when they did it, they only saw one baby and 2 umbilical cords. Like, the other umbilical cord was just hanging there with nothing else. So, being a young new mom, I've watched stuff, right? I've watched TLC, Discovery Channel. I was like, "Oh, did they merge? Like, how's that gonna work?" And the doctor's like, "No, actually, that happens way earlier. They did not merge." He's like, "This happens rarely, but it does happen." And I'm like, "What?" He tells me, he's like, "Well, remember, you had to be monitored and put on IV and all that because you weren't getting as much nutrients that you should for you and the baby." So yeah. Right. He's like, "Well, it seems like the surviving child ate the other child." And I was like a damn shark? He was like, "Yeah, like a shark, yeah. That sums it up." I was like, "So what the hell? Like, do we need to do blood tests?" He's like, "No, it's fine. I mean, this baby is nice and healthy and big." I was like, "Oh, okay." But I never told my children that. I never told any of my children until that day. That's when I told them that story. Like, never told them any of that. I was like, "Yeah, so sit down. We need to have a conversation." And my youngest, she knew exactly. She's like, "Yeah, I know." My son, he's a boy. He doesn't talk a lot about that stuff.
Girl, taking this long to get this lie out.
But that's the funny part.
I'm gonna head out, girl.
Okay, so for those of you who know or don't know, we live in a very old house. We live in a house that was built in 1919. So very old. I can tell you about a few occasions. One's happened with my daughter and one's happened with my son. And my son is 6 years old. So it actually just happened. So we were getting ready for bed and my son comes downstairs and he goes, "Hey, Mom, there's somebody standing in our bedroom." And I go, "What do you mean?" And he's talking about my room. And he goes, "Yeah, it's like a tall guy, but he doesn't look like a person. He looks like a shadow, but not on the wall." When I tell you, I pray to Jesus real quick. Oh yeah, I got more. It's spooky time.
Parents of TikTok, what is the creepiest thing your kid has ever said to you?
This trend belongs to my aunt, but she's not on TikTok, so here you go. My mom and I were moving into a new house, so my aunt and my cousin came to help us. After making a few trips inside, my 6-year-old cousin takes a seat on a stump in the front yard. He then turns and looks at the 3 of us out of the blue and says this place was built on an Indian burial ground. Once he saw the looks of "what the fuck" set into all 3 of our faces, he then began to hysterically cry and ran to my aunt. Looking back, we really should have loaded our shit back up and left. For the following 12 months, my sister was thrown down the stairs. I had a very large something get in my bed With me, I had a big green head floating outside my window. The fabric, non-electrical angel on our Christmas tree caught fire. We had a random message pop up on our answering machine of a mother beating her daughter with no missed calls on any of the caller IDs. Long story short, we ended up going to the local library and finding out it was built on a burial ground.
I don't give a fuck how much I pay for a house. I don't give a fuck how long the process takes to sell that house. I'm getting the fuck out of there. I don't care what people talking about. Like, oh, well, it's hard to move a house. You can't just up and leave. Yes, the fuck you can. Why would you just stay there and let fucking demonic shit happen to you? I don't understand that. I'm the fuck up out of there. I'm living with relatives or getting another apartment or something. If I don't have the money, I'd rather be at a fucking homeless shelter before I'm living in luxury with fucking ghosts and demons. Like, what? No. And y'all stayed there for 12 months. Y'all crazy as hell. But, you know, whatever. Everybody do shit different. If you want to get hunted at night, that's your business. Fuck out of here, creepy kids. Like, no. I wouldn't be able to handle this if I had a kid and they were doing weird shit. Even if I had a pet and they were doing weird shit. Like, either way, I'm sorry. You have to go. You just have to go. I'm sorry. That's why I don't need a pet. I don't need a kid, because I'm a abandon you. You feel me? If you creeping me the fuck out to this extent, and this is really scary. Demonic kids are like a really big fear of mine. So yeah, I won't be able to do it. Anyway, interesting video though. Y'all let me know what y'all thought. Let me know what other videos you're gonna watch, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.